everyone, I am Hadi with my partner Pragati, and today we are here to interview Mrs. Rashi Sridhar Iyer, who is not only a great teacher but a mother to us all and many of her students, and also a very wonderful personality in her community. So, hello.
Hello, Vita.
First of all, we would like to know about your early life and why did you choose to be a teacher where you could have a greater options to do
Pursue. Right?
Pursue.
Okay, thank you. See, this is actually right from the childhood, I love teaching my friends, right? And that was the time it's long back. So we did not have somebody to teach us other than school. So every day we used to go to the school and whatever the teacher taught us, we came back and did. But the children did have the doubts, right? So I was fortunate enough to be in a better position to understand maths and science other than my friends. So they generally approached me for the doubts and all, and I loved doing that, right? So somehow that seeded the passion of teaching inside me right from the childhood. Maybe say if I remember rightly, even if in class 6 and class 7 I was doing those, right? So that is one part. But actually, if you ask me that why I chose to be a teacher other than other professions, it's not that it happened by choice. It happened by chance. Because early in my childhood, I wanted to be an engineer. I missed it by 3 marks for GPT. At that time, getting into the entrance examinations without a proper coaching, it was difficult. So I missed it by one question, I should say, which was comprising of 4 marks. So I missed it by 3 marks, maybe whatever the reason was, and I couldn't get into the engineering college. Well, I was there in the waiting list, but somehow that time the internet was not there, so I could not know that I was selected in the waiting list. I couldn't go to Raipur all over from Bellai to just find out whether it was there in the waiting list or not. Okay, whatever it was. Then I did try after my graduations to become, all the government examinations, or selected in few, rejected in few, and it happened. So I tried for the MBA examinations when I was selected, and it happened. See, I was selected in many of the subjects, and I did work for some corporates after my wedding, but I started my career as a teacher. Again, it was more of a need rather than the choice of becoming a teacher, because my mother was working in railways, and we were 4 of us, and she could not support us very well in financial. So if I could earn a small amount of money being a teacher, so that could be of a great help. So it was a need rather than being a choice of becoming a teacher. Then after getting married, I was there in Nagpur, and I did work for some corporates. Well, it was a financially rewarding job, I should say. That time it was like a respectable salary what I was earning, and it was more or less like a marketing and office administration job. So that was giving me financial rewards. But if I say that satisfaction level which I could get out of it, it was very difficult. I did not get it. Every day in the morning at 9, I used to get ready and go to the office, work hard and with full, enthusiasm. I was awarded, whatever it was happening. But at night when I came back home, and then I said, okay, what was I doing all the days, and what was I doing? What was it like? It could give me that punch, आज मैंने कुछ अच्छा काम किया. ऐसा, it was not there. So I was never satisfied. So when I came to Korba after my husband got transferred out here, so he was working with some financial company. So I said, I'll enjoy my life as a housewife. So it was a thrill. So but somehow I couldn't do it. I was again, I started reading books. I started reading the newspaper from the beginning to the end. The Economic Times, the Times of India, and every magazine I could get, and every novel which I could get, and I was just spending most of the time reading, and then if I get bored, so I went and joined a course, and you won't believe that I started learning how to grow mushrooms. I don't know why, because that was not making any sense in my life, but yes, I went on and learned how to do the mushroom farming, and all the way I used to drive, about 10 kilometers from the home, and then coming back. And then somehow one of my the known person, he was a boy that time, say maybe of 20-21 years, he wanted to go and do for the MCA. He knew that I was teaching before, and he said, why don't you teach me and coach me to get selected in MC entrance examinations? I said, okay, okay, no, I'm not doing it because I don't know. I forgot everything in the maths and all. So he said, no, you can do it. So he left me a book and he said that you are going to do this. And every day I used to make them some nice nashta in the evening, make some nice chai and all. And I said, okay, you have it and go. Then he was bugged up. He said, no, auntie, you're not doing this for me. You're going to teach me. I said, fine, okay, fine, I'll teach you. So I was also getting bored, so I didn't have nothing to do. So I said, okay, fine, I'll teach you. So every day after 7 o'clock in the night, so I used to sit with him. And what was there in the MCA entrance examination, it was basically maths, which I was doing it before my marriage and also I was a teacher. So that time also I had students who were selected in say engineering entrance examinations and other. So I just bought it back. After so many years I again started teaching and it was his hard work rather than my guidance that got selected in the MCA entrance examinations, all India level that was an entrance examination, so he got selected. I said, then people saw me teaching, so one of the Panditji out here in the Podi Bar, he brought his son and he said that my son is not doing anything in class 10th examination, so you teach him. So I said, fine, I was doing nothing, so 1 hour, if you could teach somebody, so it was like fun, I said, okay. And suddenly what happens, one day I saw all his friends dropped in, they just started one by one. I couldn't realize that it was happening. And one fine day, just after say 1.5 to 2 months, the student strength in my drawing room, I could see that there was one, say, mat which was lying on, simple mat which was there. I saw some of the students sitting on chairs, some sitting on the mat, and some sitting in front of me, and it was 15 of them. I said, who are you all? So when I'm in friends, and it started. That's it. And I started loving doing it. So this is how I started teaching all over again, say after a gap of a few years, after working the stint of this corporate, and then again starting as a teaching, which it's close to my heart. So like if somebody asks me, even if I'm ill, if somebody says, "Ki don't teach today," I feel something is missing in my life. So I just go teach, that's it. It gives you a tremendous satisfaction to do that. That's it.
So we know that your teaching career has spanned over decades.
Yeah, this is years I know, we should say. Yeah.
So you must have students that whose parents were used to be your students
yes,
now.
Yes.
And you have seen society change and evolve and mentality of the students change and evolve. So how did you change and evolve your teaching methods, your mentality with the students?
See, there is a shift in the students' behavior. There is a drastic change, I should say, like they have changed like anything. See, what was the basic? So first, we were the only knowledge providers. When I started my career, like if you can see that your father's age, your mother's age, whatever it is. So then that was the age, like I myself was 18 years, 20 years, 21 years old. So they used to call me Didi and I was the only knowledge provider. I had to read a lot. When I read a lot, I give them what they wanted, right? So I was the only knowledge provider, right? They used to sit around me, listen to me, we take notes, we learn something, I used to read, deliver back to them, and that was the stage. And like now what happens is, like with this technology which has emerged a lot, and it started emerging, say day by day, it started evolving like something, right? And now for a child, if we talk about, so one thing it is different is we are one of the knowledge providers. They've got everything over the internet, right? You can search for anything under the sky and you get the answer for it, right? And you get better people doing it. So the animation is there. You've got a better person coming and explaining things to the people. The quality of the knowledge which is being imparted, that is like awesome. And children have their access on that small mobile phone, whatever it is. He is sticking to it and he is gaining the knowledge. People say कि मेरा बच्चा दिन भर मोबाइल से चिपका हुआ है, वो नहीं पढ़ रहा है ना. I say during the COVID season also, the children were not listening to us. But I know many of my kids who were learning languages, they were learning more of the science, they were more evolving. They were learning, you were learning, right? So it was not that you were not learning, you were not learning what was given in the textbooks. But you were learning, right? So at that point of time, we became one of the knowledge givers.
So
Sometimes we are good, sometimes we are just ordinary for them. Because over the internet they get a better options, better teachers. So what should I do? There is one commonality between the students which I got it, say, 37 years back. They were just a few years younger to me. And the students who are now. One thing is very common between them. All of them have to be installed with the belief you can do it. They have to be made to dream. Right? They dream, you dream them with them. A teacher has to dream them with a child. Right? You only not have to dream. You have to believe in that. Self-key is I can do it. And as a teacher, I love instilling the belief in the child that you are a beautiful person, you have got tremendous capacity, you are born to do great things in life. And that belief, if I am able to install in the student and he believes in himself, he or she does great things in life. The student who was 37 years back, that person required it. The child who is coming to me now, I have to do that also for him. And as a teacher, teaching maths, teaching physics, teaching languages, whatever it is, that is not important. What is important is, like, you instill the belief. The belief system has to be there. Right? If you install that, you can see great managers, great leaders, great scientists, great person coming out of that person. Right? And that is very important. That's what I feel. As a teacher, I could do. I have to, like, see, the technology has evolved. So I cannot be a person obsolete. A person obsolete is like banging on what he has done, achieved in the previous part of the life. Right now, what I have to do is, I have to keep in pace with the technology. So first, like before the COVID started or whatever it is, the technology, I was saying, okay, ये mic ठीक नहीं हो रहा है, इसको ठीक कर दो, अरे plug ठीक नहीं हो रहा है, ये word नहीं चल रहा, ये PowerPoint नहीं चल रहा, ये नहीं चल रहा, वो नहीं चल रहा है, no, like ये directory बनाना नहीं आता था यार मुझे. And then I started, no, this will not do. So I started learning, and I had like a timetable which I follow, because like being productive means I don't want to have say a timetable which I write it down in a diary. 7 o'clock in the morning I'll do this, 8 o'clock I'll do, and every week I ensure that I have, say, 4 to 6 hours to learn new technologies. Now, say, after, say, started doing this 3 years from now, I can do my own stuff, like I can edit my audio, I do my podcasting, so I do my editing, adding music and putting it into the RSS feed and getting it into Spotify and other things. Yes, I do it on my own. I can record my own videos on the, say, using the slate and other things, and edit it a bit, whatever it is not required, and put it in the YouTube. That much I know. Right? I know how to make something in Canva, I know how to do something in the PowerPoints, and I know many things, other things. Again, you can use, convert it and other things. So technology is one thing you have to keep on learning. And if you don't learn, you become a person obsolete. So whatever is required for teaching, I make it sure. I learn it from my own students. I learn it from some, say, digital platform. There are plenty of them now. You can say Udemy is there, you can say Front Row is there. And there are many other platforms wherein you can actually enroll and get the proper training from them. You have got a fixed timetable. So I believe that learning with the kids is a fun. My own students teach me a lot, and that really, it's like, so yeah, your mom ko maine sikhaya, he gets satisfied and I get the knowledge from them. So it's beautiful. So that's why how I coped up. So one thing in common is instill the belief in the children, and that is the most important duty of a teacher to do it. Because as a teacher, I say that the student sees you as a hero in his or her life. So we cannot do anything which is wrong to them. You can reprimand them. If they make mistakes, you can reprimand them. You can scold them, you can do it. But first the belief. First that everything, and then everything comes later.
So what you're saying is that the students, when you started, they they were not as they couldn't hold you accountable as much as the students of today.
No, it's not the thing. The accountability is like if you instill that accountability that I say, it's not that the accountability, like accountability is like, how do you say that is accountability? A teacher's job is to teach, right? So if you held responsible for the success or the failure of the students, the I don't think so that they won't be responsible for anything or accountable for something. See, how can you say that you teach so much of your students, right? Some of them gain a lot, do well, very well in academics, but there are students not very good in academics. But at the same time, they learn many other things from you. So it's not that कि अच्छे नंबर आ गए तो क्रेडिट ले लो या खराब नंबर लेके आए तो आप रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ले लो. नो, यू हैव टू गिव देम. And it is not only the paperish knowledge or the bookish knowledge what you impact. A teacher is something much more than that. So if you hold me responsible, if you don't be responsible, it is up to the child who can do it. But as a teacher, every student who comes to me, maybe I must have taught more than say 4,000 students, maybe more than that. But every student is close to my heart. And I feel with them, I dream with them. That's what it is. It's like an experience with every child. And people do ask me, like, you've been teaching the same thing, physics, same maths for so many years, and don't you get bored? I said, no. Because every time the topic is the same, but the child is different. So the one which I teach you the same thing, one particular concept, to a person A, that is Hadi, and if it is for somebody else, I have to put it in a different way. So it makes it more interesting. So even if I have to teach for say another 20-25 years till the time I'm alive, I'm happy. I'll be teaching it in a very different way. That's it. Learning new methods, learning new ways.
So what are the differences you find from the students you taught before and the students you are dealing with today?
Both are loving. Both are sweet. The children who were there so many years before, they were also so much loving, and still they are in contact with me. And the children who are now, they are also very close to me now. So both of them, if I talk about the humanity, they are very loving, they are very inspiring. They like challenge you sometimes, right? So the difference is, the only thing is, the children whom I taught, say about so many years back, they were not privileged economically. Now the children are privileged. That's the basic difference, right? Privilege in the terms of they were having, the children who used to come to me earlier, they used to walk down, right? And they did not have any fancy gadgets or maybe fancy clothes or maybe fancy shoes or whatever it is. But now the parents have it. Even an ordinary parent have everything provided to his or her daughter. He will provide when he comes to class 10th or so, he will provide him or her with a vehicle. Everybody has a mobile phone, maybe a laptop, good clothes to wear. And this was not the thing. That is the basic difference. Economically, they are more sound. And secondly, what happens is, like another thing which I would say was like in the earlier times, there were 3 to 4 kids in the house, not pampered. Now the children are more pampered because they are 1 or 2 in the number, so they are more pampered. That's it. And people say that their life was very difficult. They had to really struggle and do travel a lot, and they have to suffer more pains. No. Now the children have got a different set of expectation from the peers, from the teachers, from the outside world. They have their own problems, and now the children have a different kind of the problems. I won't say that the problems have become different, but overall, if you see, every child in the teenage, they have got a lot of energy. They have got a lot of things to say कि okay मुझे ये करना है, the sense of achievement, right? So वो जो होता है ना, if you say like okay fine, I want to achieve this, every my child has got it. मुझे करना है. That time also they had it, and today also they have it. Right? Behavioral pattern, yes, it changes. See, I am not like my mother, my child is not like me. And you are not like my daughter. Definitely she is 10 or 11 years more older, 12 years more older than you. So they have got a different set of behavior. So the pattern changes. Of course, there will be changes. The evolution is of course there. Right? But one thing which is not changed is the urge to do something very good. Every child has it. And it's my duty to make them focused, make them believe in themselves, and instill the thought I repeatedly say that you are born to do great things in life. That's very important.
So in your teaching span, you must have taught thousands of students.
Right.
You must have had expectations with them. So in general, what kind of expectations do you have with your students, and not in academics, but regarding their social life or the impact they have in the community? What kind of people do you want your students to grow up to be?
Fine, this is like the very interesting things which I would say. So what happens here, like see, every mom, every dad, and every like parent and a teacher is also a parent. So a parent, according to Swami Vivekananda, so what he said was, which like deeply went into my heart, that was like a teacher or a parent is a gardener. वो एक माली होता है, राइट? वो चाहता है कि उसने जो प्लांट लगाया, वो प्लांट, देखो आपके पेरेंट्स ने आपका प्लांट लगाया और मुझे एक अच्छा गमले में डाल करके मुझे दे दिया, बोले इसको थोड़ा ग्रो करके दीजिएगा, राइट? You just grow this and give it to me. So what's my duty? My duty is to give the proper manure, put it in the right kind of the sunlight, not too much, whatever is required, not to see. That means I'm putting into the sunlight. That means I'm giving them the challenges, right? So then I give them the manure, the amount of inputs, watering them properly, and I just reprimand them. I scold them. So अगर कोई डंगाल उल्टा सीधा उग रहा है तो मुझे काटना भी पड़ता है, right? And it is now I give this to every plant, right? So it is up to the plant what he takes up and how well he blooms. It's left to the plant now, right? And what's my expectations, right? See, my expectations is whether it is academics or whether it is whatever he does. He does social, he does a small video, or he does display, or he goes to and do a small say rangoli. I want my child to do it with full passion, right? मैं इससे अच्छा कोई और मेरे से अच्छा नहीं कर सकता, ये बात मुझे सिखानी है. That will go and impact the life what he has. I want him to be happy. I want her to be happy. It is another thing. And I want the child learn to give. See, giving gives you a joy, right? So, and that I make them feel right from the childhood. When he comes to me or she comes to me, I ask them to give. Giving means it may not be things ki that you things wise nahi. कुछ भी हो सकता है. If you have knowledge, give it to your child. Means, see, people say if you have good notes, give it to others. If you can teach a particular, say, concept to your friend very well, that's giving. So I want my child to be in a better position where he is able to give it out to the society unconditionally. So if that is there, yes, that is what I want the child to do. Growing up, yes. When he grows up with this concept of giving, doing it with passion, believing in ourselves, he can make a great impact to the society. When he grows up and becomes whatever he wants to be, he wants to give. If he is into business, he wants to give the best to the clients, over deliver. That will give him a financial status, a recognition in the society. That is what I want my children to grow. Right? I want them to be happy. Happy means what? Whatever makes him happy, whatever makes her happy, let it be. I want them to smile. So that is what I want to teach them, right? Recognition within themselves, that's very important.
As we know, you are not just a brilliant teacher, you are also into giving the impact what you got from this society to back to this community. So, can you tell more about this,
It's regarding
the social works you do? And
yeah, talking about the social work. Uh, Again, what happens is, like, as I told you, if I give, I teach my children to give. So the giving has to come from whatever it is. Social work. I don't say that I'm a great social worker or whatever it is, because I'm not impacted that much in the society. So what I try to do is I get associated with as many as people who actually do a lot of things to the society. See, one thing which is to be in the society that has to be given is, first is the food, because there are so many people who miss out on the meals, right? So one is the food, the second is the education, and the third is giving up the joys, right, to the society. So what we try to do is, I've been associated with some of the organizations which try to feed people, right? So they a small effort, like say so many years I've been making, so I'm contributing to this roti bank which they have got it. So every day the people come and collect rotis from various houses, and then they go and feed the people who are in need. So in the society what happens is, there are many rich people and there are many people who are poor, and there are people who are financially and health wise okay. Like, see, if I can make 10 kilo sabjis or 5 kilo sabjis every Monday, that means God has given me the strength to do that extra work, right? So I do it happily. It doesn't come now, it has become a habit. Like, अगर मैं नहीं बनाऊँ मंडे को सब्जी, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि नहीं, मैंने कुछ आज नहीं किया. There's something missing. So that, see, I don't say it is my contribution. It is the contribution of those boys who come to my house, pick up the sabji and go to the people and give it to them. So that one sabji, I try to make it like as tasty as possible. I'm not a very great cook, but yes, I try to make it. So how does it impact? मंडे आता है तो लोग कहते हैं कि वो सब्जी का इंतजार करते हैं कि आज हमें सब्जी अच्छी मिलेगी, एंड जैसे कि एक टीचर ने भेजा है तो बोलते हैं उसके बच्चे अच्छे पढ़े. So the kind of blessings I get, it's so excited, you know. So once I went, I said, are you the same person मंडे वाली सब्जी? तो मैंने कहा हाँ. तो बोले कि आपकी सब्जी बहुत अच्छी होती है, और इन्होंने बताया कि आप टीचर हो तो आपके बच्चे बहुत पढ़े. So that बच्चे बहुत पढ़े. So it's a blessing which I get it from my children, and that is heartening. Another thing is like education part. So whenever I get a chance, I go and teach the students who are underprivileged. So that, like, see, sometimes they don't get a good teacher, or maybe they are not able to understand, right? So because they live in the remote places. So if I can just contribute just a few hours of my, say, years of teachings to them, so that really impacts. Right, and then third is the clothing. So wherein like I've got a table in my house, like wherein people can, if they have got some extra clothes and all, so they can just come and put it across. So we sorted, I sort it, I wash it, I pack them in the proper way. If it is like damaged, I do repair them and then give it to the right kind of the people. So like if you don't have clothes, you know, they do come. I just keep and arrange like a shop in my house sometimes. So people come and pick up the shop. जैसे कपड़े शॉप से लेते हैं, वैसे ये चैरिटी के कपड़े इतने प्यार से लेके जाते हैं, अपने साइज के, अपनी पसंद की. So you feel like okay, fine, but that's not my clothes, you know, somebody else has given to me. What that I'm doing is I'm just selecting, I'm keeping it in a proper places. Yes. And the children, you also must be remembering they used to sort their clothes, and it is fun, right? You were not, I think, involved, but he was involved. Like, we select the clothes, put it in the proper way, like बच्चों के कपड़े अलग, इसके कपड़े अलग, and when they come, you know, and they pick up the right kind of the clothes for themselves, so it gives you a satisfaction. So yes, and I'm just a channel. Cloth is not mine. इसको मैं दे रही हूँ वो भी नहीं है. I'm just becoming a channel. So that gives you another way, and my children love doing it, right? All my children, like after the half-yearly examinations or maybe after the final examinations, they sort all the clothes. So it's fun. I've got some videos made out of that. It's really, that's it. And this, you know, like when the child does it with me, he or she learns कि हाँ मुझे ये society के लिए करना है. Right? When he grows up, maybe he gives more, she gives more. That's it. So impact is there. So I said no, seeding करना होता है सब कुछ. So it will definitely impact the society. And one more thing, you should not give the child or the society कलेक्ट करके दे दिया, आज का खाना दे दिया, आज उनकी भूख मिट गई, लेकिन आप कुछ ऐसा करो कि वो कल को आज का खाना आपके लिए कोई और आपने उसको एक मील दिया, वो 2 मील देने के काबिल हो जाए. Secondly, if it is education which is imparted to the children, you are making capable so that they grow up and become useful for somebody else. It's that view which I wanted. Yes.
So what message do you want to convey to the youth of today?
The youth of today, the children of today, I just want to give you one message that, see, you have got unique capacities to work on. Every person who is born on the earth, he comes up with a package. He has got a purpose in life. He or she should understand the purpose in life and do it the way nobody else can do it better than him or her. That's one thing. Do it with energy, do it with passion, do it with whole heart, soul, everything into it. And you will be successful. You will impact the society, you will grow personally, you will grow the people around you, and then the radius goes on increasing, the sphere becomes the globe, and you can impact the world. That's my message to the world, my message to the children. And grow up. Make this earth a better place to live in. That's what I want. Keep inspiring. You are like a light. Spread that light. Right? You are born as an LED. Grow up, grow up, grow up, grow up and become a sun. Illuminate the whole world. Right? That's what I wanted from each and every child. So, impact the life. Impact the world around you. Make it better. That's it.
So it's been a really nice time talking to you and listening to you.
Thank you so much for having a nice conversation with you all people. So, thank you so much, both of you.